Welcome back. Now, the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority has admitted that the organization is going through a rough patch following complaint from a chronic rheumatoid arthritis patient who claims she experienced a severe reaction after having to change to a different brand of a Schedule 6 medicine she takes. SAHPRA has blamed this on the product backlog and promised to address this by the end of the year. The patient accused SAHPRA of what she says is extreme negligence. Now, for a response to this, I am joined by SAHPRA CEO, Dr. Boitumelo Semete. Dr. Semete, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Now, what has led to this backlog?
Yeah, so thank you again for having me. So this backlog is a backlog that SAHPRA had inherited when it was established in 2018. And this was a backlog of about 16,000 products from its predecessor, the Medicines Control Council. So we have, over the last couple of years, have been working, through this backlog to clear it and make sure that we issue final decisions on the registration of the 16,000 products.
Now, who would normally make use of this register?
So there's two things, right? So there's the backlog of products that need to be registered. So whatever that was in the backlog would not have been registered. What the individual complained about is an adverse drug reaction to a product that was already registered, right? So with every product that is registered, we would have a database so that any healthcare practitioner and any member of the public can then go onto our website and search if a product is registered. Now, in the case of this individual, when they searched our database, they could not find this product. And again, because of, a lot of the manual systems at the MCC, and again, just a lot of work around clearing this backlog, we were behind, with updating this register of products. We have subsequently updated it. It's still not perfect, but it at least has the bulk of the information in terms of product registration, who the manufacturer and who the manufacturers are.
Now, the backlog obviously has a dire impact on the lives of patients. I mean, as we mentioned, the patient that had put in the complaint earlier on had a severe reaction to taking a different brand of the Schedule 6 medicine that she is used to taking. She also claims that it took her 4 days to get a response from SAHPRA. How severely understaffed is SAHPRA?
Yeah, I know we're quite significantly understaffed, particularly in this area that we call vigilance. So this is where, for any product that is registered, if anyone, reports an adverse drug reaction, we should be able to act on it. And it doesn't mean that, we would have cleared the issue in 4 days, but at least they should have had a response from SAHPRA. So if I can compare, for example, we have a team of just about 5 individuals looking at this area. And when you compare to other established regulators like the one in the UK, they have 60 individuals just looking under vigilance. So we have been, engaging with National Treasury, and we are looking for funding to ensure that we strengthen this area. If you look at what we've been able to do with COVID, in monitoring any drug, any adverse reactions, and with vaccines, we call them adverse effects following immunization, we should be doing similarly. And with COVID, we were fortunate in that we managed to raise funding that enabled us to bring, resources, even though it was on contract. So for this function, which is what, we should do on a permanent basis, we are going out to seek funding to support this area.
I can imagine the impact of COVID-19 on this backlog, but would you say that there's a correlation between this backlog and the emergence of counterfeit medicine?
No, not quite. I mean, the backlog is more from having products registered. When it comes to counterfeit, or what we call substandard or falsified products, what we're seeing is that there are, individuals who are able to access medicines illegally and then sell them, illegally. I mean, we saw, particularly after the unrest, July unrest of last year, we saw an emergence of the people selling medicines just along the street, and that's not how it's supposed to be done. So we have seen an increase in that, and our law enforcement team has been working really hard to ensure that we curb any such, because then you can't confirm the quality of any of these products that they're selling. So that the illicit selling of products is our biggest concern, more than what we would then call products that are substandard.
So what progress have you made so far? I mean, you speak of the challenges in funding, and you also speak of the challenges in being understaffed. Are you making any strides with regards to resolving any of these two issues?
Yeah, I mean, we are hard at work to say, while we don't have sufficient funding from National Treasury, we've engaged with a number of philanthropic organizations, who not only fund SAHPRA, but they fund other regulators. All of us regulators, really, particularly on the continent, we are constrained when it comes to funding and therefore then resources. So we've been able to, like I said, for COVID, we specifically got funding to enable us to track, any adverse events following immunization. And we're hoping, to similarly raise funding then for all the other medicines, knowing that with time, with the fees that we charge, we would then be able to sustain these positions.
I mean, you speak of funding from government. You're currently getting 40% of your budget from government, and you've asked for an increase of up to 60%. How are those negotiations going?
Yeah, I mean, the fiscus is quite constrained, right? And so, they're not going as well as we had anticipated, and hence we're looking at other sources of funding.
All right. So in the interim, Dr. Semete, what do patients and doctors who rely on this register then do? What advice would you have for them?
Sure. So the advice is that, we have updated this register. If individuals go onto our website and they go under medicines register, they'll be able then to find the updated register. If there are any products that they're not seeing, we do have an email on our website that they can email us to make sure that we, take on their feedback and update it, real time. So we've tried, our utmost really to make it as current as possible. But we are aware that there could be a number of products still that are not listed there. So please do visit the website and also do report any adverse or drug reactions.
All right. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That's Dr. Boitumelo Semete, the CEO of SAHPRA, speaking to us on the backlog of the register and how the organizations being underfunded and understaffed has contributed to this backlog. Now,